Ah, si počeo? Okay, hi. All right, so last time we drew cartoon characters. You're recording? Okay, so last time we drew cartoon characters, Popeye, Bugs Bunny, Porky Pig, South Park, stuff like that. So I'm gonna now show you how to draw comic strip characters, but a little bit more serious, not so much cartoonish, but more realistic. So we're in a comic strip universe now with Marvel and DC Comics. So let's start with just drawing kind of like uh, a face, a male face, sort of like so here we have a nose, right? Nostrils, papa, right? We have here okay, then we have the eye. Right. Okay, one eye. There's another eye. So we're trying to do a more realistic look, right? All right, and all right, so head, puff, do the cheekbone, right? Then we do one ear, and we do another ear here. Okay. Do an eyebrow. All right. Lip. Okay, kind of so mind you, I'm doing more of a realistic kind of a approach here. I'm doing a face. All right. So let's say, and if you look at like cartoon characters and comic strip characters from the last 70, 80, 90 years, I don't know when they started doing them back in the 30s and whenever, 20s, they always sort of had a similar kind of approach. I mean, there's this kind of like, modeling look, kind of a Clark Kent, Superman types, right? And, chiseled features, high cheekbones, all that kind of stuff. So, let's see here. Okay. So I have a marker here, so I can't do all the stuff I would usually do with like a pencil or shading. Yeah, it's a little tougher, but anyways, but you get the gist, right? So here's kind of a, I don't know, let's say a gangster-looking guy from, I don't know, Al Capone times, Chicago, sort of, yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, you get the gist, right? Okay. So let's do a profile, a similar look of a profile, right? Okay. We're here. I'll just do the hair to cover on the side, right? Frontal lobe. Also, I gotta mention, I always love drawing like Neanderthal types, because Neanderthal types always have frontal lobes, right? But I'm just saying, I mean, there is this kind of like a universal type you see in these comic strip comic books. And so here I'm doing the ear. So I'm doing a profile here, right? And then here's the nose, kind of the nostril, cartilage, the whole thing. You have to sort of emphasize the bone from the. So here's the eye socket, right, buff, and then sort of like okay. Kind of slightly rugged face, you know, kind of just, you gotta do a sort of a double chin, maybe, you know, let's say here, all the same thing, you know, I want to do a double chin, kind of a, you know, and we're talking sort of like gangster types, you know. So let's say this would be, I don't know, good guy, bad guy, Clark Kent, but, you know, all of you comic strip fans and collectors, you sort of had that kind of a, you probably know this kind of a certain look that you know, do some sideburns on the side, and, yeah. Do more bushy eyebrows, kind of a slightly, maybe a broken nose, you know, you have the nostril here, you have the cartilage, kind of maybe nostril. So I also have a marker here, I have a marker, so it's kind of tough to get the same effect, but yeah, sort of like a, yeah, maybe slightly a boxer, you know. It was, what are you saying? Here, one second. So here, maybe, you know, he's got a little bit of a black eye, you know, he's been fighting, a fighter. So, you know, anyways, that's, and, you know, but pretty much I'm just going to do a basic, you know, it's sort of a Adam's apple here, puff. There we go. But the point is, you know, when you're doing this face kind of a thing, what you want to do, there we go. Here's the eye, here's the, yeah. Okay, so the face is, you pretty much start around the forehead. You get the frontal lobe, okay? You got the eyes, okay? You got this, sort of had that basic nose cartilage, and kind of like, and also I gotta say, a lot of, you know, back in the United States, 1930s, 40s, a lot of these characters were mostly Caucasian, kind of mid 30s, 40s Caucasian guys. You barely ever saw African American or Asian characters in comic strip. But yeah, I mean, if you watch all these comic strips, they sort of had this kind of like a look that they were going for, and it's sort of sold. You know, that's why I personally love drawing Neanderthals, because Neanderthals are sort of a non-denominational, ethnic, very you know, human, doesn't necessarily have a specific ethnic, racial look, origin, or whatever you want to call it, but you know, but it's more universal. You know, you could pretty much be, I don't know, an Australian Aborigine person and not necessarily have like a certain specific, you know, ethnic. But it's, yeah, it's, you know, I'm just doing like quickies here, just sort of to show this kind of a basic, yeah, basic type that you see in a lot of these cartoons or comic strips, but you know, you get the gist, and you have but anyways, here, let me just, here's what I really, oh, this is my family tree that was setting out family tree, old nobility from like 1498 that I actually found. But anyways, that's beside, neither here nor there. Let me do this. I was talking about Neanderthal, and I love drawing cavemen. Cavemen, I have a very universal kind of you know, the frontal lobe, that's the one thing that, you know, it's similar. I mean, all these faces have something caveman about them, but I love drawing cavemen like actual cavemen, because cavemen have something, you know, so more wider nose, kind of a, yeah, do the eyebrow, do the, cavemen have something very universal about, you know, the basic human facial structure. So if you want to learn how to draw faces, you know, like pretty much human faces, let's do big teeth, bigger, you know, caveman, kind of like sort of a smile, you know, as much as, you know, I was always studying, you know, archaeology, anthropology, and looking at like the skulls of cavemen. They had strong eye sockets, but there's something about their look that looked like they had really bad eye bags and bad, like, headaches. You know, like, if you ever had a bad migraine headache, so, you know, sort of, yeah. So as I said, I'm drawing this pretty quickly for the video. I don't really have my actual pencil, you know, yeah, let's do kind of a bearded fella, like my beautiful beard that you see here, and you know, but sort of this is, see this frontal lobe, the sort of the intense frontal lobe, you know, and then we have the eye sockets more clarified, you know, and sort of like this. Yeah. Oh, his his ear is in the way, but you get the point. This is kind of a, you know, like a kind of a, let's do a ear here, kind of an ear here. Seem to be spending more time on this Neanderthal fella than I am on anybody else, because it's something, you know, universal about cavemen. You know, they're sort of like, there's no necessarily an ethnic belong. It's not like a universal, more early human, you know, development of. There we go. Well, this good-looking fella, his ear is here, and also I don't want this to be sexist in any way that I'm only drawing dudes. There is also females, only I'd like to draw female. Maybe next time we'll do. So here's the eyebrow, the pissed brow of the Krapina Vindia, maybe northwestern Croatia, sometime 50,000 years ago, or maybe Neanderthal, or Spain. Oh, Gibraltar. Gibraltar is another big, between Spain and Africa, Morocco. That's a big Neanderthal hub. Northwestern Croatia, also, yeah, Germany. And anyway, so this is what you got here. All right, so this is what we just drew here. Okay, this is my son and me. Come on, Nico. Hey, that's my son drawing, and that's me. And anyways, that's that. And we'll see you next time doing something else. Yeah.